What's up YouTube, this is Ringo from Headsphere, and today we are going to have another educational video, this time again about TOK, since it's kind of like the burning topic. So I've been doing some searching around. I've been searching around the different YouTube channels to see if there's any good explanation of how teachers or tutors actually teach students about TOK, and there are some very good ones. I think there's this one that I forgot the name, but they talked very clearly about how do we integrate a real life situation into a TOK presentation. There's also a really bad one, which they don't even know what a knowledge question is, and they try to teach people. So yeah. But I mean, what could I say? Some of you guys may think that, I don't know what a knowledge question is. Well, it's fine, because we're going to tell you what IB thinks a knowledge question is. So, why is knowledge questions so important for us? In the first place, knowledge questions are required in both the presentation and the essay. And these knowledge questions are questions that acts as the backbone in how you can approach your presentation or essay. So we're going to look into the IBO guide, and we're going to take a look. I think it's page 20 on the IBO guide on the TOK last updated 2015 syllabus. So it actually says clearly what a knowledge question is, because I've been asked by many of my students, hey, hey Ringo, hey Mr. Chu, what is knowledge question? Well, knowledge question is simply this. Well, let's get a highlighter. Knowledge question are simply knowledge questions are question about knowledge. So we try to question how, what, or mainly how and what knowledge is. And, it's actually not too hard. So it says clearly that we should not be focusing on specific content, and they should focus on how knowledge is constructed and evaluated. Meaning, how do we form knowledge? And is such knowledge reliable, accurate, valid, or justifiable? In the sense that knowledge questions are always a little different from many questions that we dealt with in classroom setting, yada yada yada. So what we're able to take out of that is this. So knowledge question, KQ, are questions about knowledge. You need to also understand what we're trying to do is to construct or evaluate knowledge. So what I said about the evaluate, you can always focus on the question whether it is reliable, whether it is valid. What else did I have said? Oh, I forgot. Reliable, valid, I think, justifiable. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. So, you guys know what I mean. And, do take these notes down, because it will help you. Alright, so the next part of what a knowledge question is this. Knowledge questions are open. What is that supposed to mean? Well, they're open to a plausible number of plausible answers, meaning that there are many different perspectives in how you can approach a knowledge question. So you don't need, I've seen actually some people telling you needing 6 or 7 or 8 knowledge questions. Can't remember, one of the YouTubers said that. Totally ridiculous. Like, what is the point, okay? I suggest you have 2 to 3 knowledge questions. In an essay, I think 3 knowledge questions is good. In a presentation, I think 2 is good. So in the 3 knowledge question, I need you to drill deep in those 3 questions and demonstrate to me what are the plausible answers to them. So what are the plausible meaning? It can be, it might be, it's likely to be answer to them. So, do keep those in mind. So many students encountering TOK for the first time are stuck, yada, yada, yada. They lack a single right answer. So what it means is if you write a question and you can either answer yes or you can answer no, then you pretty much screw up your TOK because that is not a knowledge question. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, so we're going to go and look at examples later. So remember, knowledge questions should be expressed in general term. If you want to look at one specific thing, take a step back. Look at the bigger picture. See if you can generate a knowledge question or a type of question that is able to answer multiple questions with similar fact. So we're going to go into that example. So examples of knowledge question is actually given by the IBO in the IBO guide. Future population of Africa. So what they have here is how can we predict future population growth in Africa? Well, you need to be able to understand a few things. Well, Africa is too narrow. I need to make a question that can look at more than just Africa, to be applied to more than just Africa. Population growth. Again, other than population growth, what kind of knowledge can I gain again? Is population growth some sort of mathematical model? Is it some sort of prediction? Okay, so that is how then IB actually tells you if you were to generate a good knowledge question right here is how can mathematical model gives us knowledge even if it does not yield accurate prediction. Okay, so my first tip is this. Actually, it's not my first tip, but one of my tips is this. Can you see the word here? Knowledge. Try to include the word knowledge in your knowledge question because it actually does help. Is there exception? Of course there's exception. Do you have to? Of course you don't have to. But I mean, if you're stuck in writing a knowledge question, try to put the word knowledge in a knowledge question and most likely you'll be able to form a knowledge question. Example 2. The placebo effect and its impact on the medical profession. Again, this is a topic and this is a very simple knowledge or a simple question they generate. How does placebo? So like I said earlier, we need to take a step back. I don't want to know placebo. I want to know the concept of how placebo works. So here they generate a relatively interesting question. It is just look at how could we establish that X is an active ingredient in causing Y. Meaning that instead of just looking at the placebo effect, we're looking at how one thing may cause the other. Do I agree with this knowledge question? Well, I don't. I simply think that even this question is stated in the IBO guide. I feel that it's too vague. Because it could be just like any question, I mean, technically. And the idea of X and Y makes it slightly confusing. So I've made my own little version. Sometimes, what you could actually do is to start with the word to what extent. This ensures you to be able to argue in many perspectives. So, to what extent can an individuals believe? I'm pretty sure I really hate spelling. Belief affect their perception of knowledge. So what I want to get at from this knowledge question is, how can an individual's belief affect what they believe is knowledge? For example, if you're religious, if your belief is that, for example, God exists, then, it's going to be affecting your perception of what knowledge is. It's going to affect how you view the world. It's going to, maybe when you're really, really sad, you could see it as a challenge given by God to test you. That's an approach. You can also use the scientist approach. An individual believing in his own work. Charles Darwin believed that evolution exists while everyone thought he was crazy. Okay? You could use that idea. There are many, many different ways you can answer a knowledge question. And if you can think of many, many, many different ways, you did great. This is a great knowledge question. So, this is what I suggest. Go and look at the title of your essay and start forming most likely 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 knowledge questions. And see how these knowledge questions may connect. Because at the end of the day, by answering these knowledge questions, you should be able to connect right back at the prescribed title and answer that question. It is very simple. So again, feel free to email me. You guys know the drill. And yeah, let me know in the comment section if that clears up, your misconception or your misconception of knowledge question. So peace out for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This is Ringo from Medsphere. Peace.